Take a seat.
Hello.
Now, Paul, you started driving your mum's Ford Focus.
Yes.
And 10 years later, you bought yourself a Lamborghini Huracan. This is correct.
That is correct. As weird as that sounds.
So, just to educate everybody, from what I understand, so what you just get your phone out, do you, and just do this a bit?
That's exactly it.
Right, and then you buy a Lamborghini Huracan?
It's not as simple as that sounds.
No.
But it's kind of like that. That actually looks like one of my videos as well. They're super shaky and just running around trying to chase cars.
But you called your YouTube channel Supercars of London, but I presume the first car you had to film was Mum's Ford Focus, which isn't exactly a supercar. How did you get your hands on a supercar to start this channel?
My channel was Supercars of London because I started filming these Ferraris and Lamborghinis driving past. So I never asked the owner whether I could film the cars, I just filmed them. So I didn't necessarily need the access to the cars, they were already there in Knightsbridge. I never once filmed my mum's Ford Focus. I don't think the audience would be that interested in it, but she still owns it now. And yeah, so from there. So
then, how do you monetize this? Do YouTube just send you £1 million a week in the post? How does the system work? You started off, I presume, doing it as a hobby. So when did you first? How many years before you earned any money out of your hobby?
Well over 6 years. So when I started, YouTube wasn't owned by Google. So there was no adverts. I was purely posting pictures and videos for people to watch. And then when Google took over, I actually submitted a business plan to Google for them to monetize my YouTube channel. Whereas now, you can literally click a button on your channel and get adverts on it, which is the problem with YouTube at the moment with all of the news.
So, but it took a long time. But what do you think the secret? You see so many kids going around now, obviously trying to do what you do, but you've established yourself. What's the secret of that success, do you reckon?
It's so cool. I think one of the coolest things about what I do is seeing the community grow and seeing young kids out filming these cars and sharing a passion of cars. Starting very early, and the consistency that I've had over the last 10 years, because I have been doing it for 10 years and probably not had a life for 10 years because I've been either on a laptop or in London. Every time I went to London, I'd have to walk around 15 miles to try and capture whatever I could see. And I never knew because there was no Instagram or Twitter, whereas now you get to see the cars before you even go to London. So definitely the time that I started was the best time to start, but then the consistency over the 10 years, because I started it as a hobby before there was any money involved. The fact that money involved now is a bonus, but I'd still be doing it if there was no money.
But you did much equipment, now obviously you've grown, you do quality film, but you started literally with the phone, did you? But now you do need a software for editing and a couple of cameras, a few GoPros. What sort of kit have you now got grown in your cupboard?
Yeah, the equipment started out as one of the most earliest camera phones that literally went and the car had already passed the frame, so I kept missing them. So I bought a phone that had video recording. Now I use just a standard DSLR camera, and I've got 2 GoPros that I just move around the car as I'm driving. So my equipment has definitely advanced in the last 10 years, but Supercars of London was kind of known for pretty average quality to low quality. There are a few videos out there that are pretty dodgy. You could probably count the pixels on the YouTube video.
And you have to put up what length is that a secret? I've looked at some of them, it's like sort of 30 minutes. I started watching one, I get bored after. Have you found there's a happy length for these posts that you try to stick to a certain formula, or does it depend on what you're filming on that each day?
Yeah, it really depends on the level of quality of the content that you've got. Some videos might be 5 minutes, some videos might be 15 minutes. I recently took a trip around Italy and I spent 3 days filming and managed to condense it into 22 minutes, which seemed quite a long time, but the video went down really well, so I was pleased with the response that it got.
What about borrowing car? How long did it take before anyone would lend you a car? You were still only about 12, I think, when you started. You weren't even driving cars when you began this project.
Yeah, it was definitely a long process to get manufacturers to buy into the exposure that was the potential on my channel. But it also took me a long time to get to 25 years old so that the insurance would actually cover me to drive these cars. So to begin with, I was limited to my Vauxhall Astra, which was the first car that I bought, or my mum's Ford Focus. No one wanted to see that on Supercars of London, as you would imagine. So it was a case of like knocking on dealership doors and saying, have you got a car that I can drive? And it started off with Audi S3s, it started with TTs, and most recently I drove a McLaren 720S, which blew my mind.
I'd never had a proper job in your life, I presume.
No. I did a paper round. I worked a couple of retail stores. I worked a few jobs. I worked in a hotel, and I worked for HR Owen, who were down there. So I sort of got myself into the supercar world pretty quickly. Found out that it can be sometimes not as glamorous as it looks, but it's good fun to be involved in cars.
So presumably this is a global thing now. I mean, you've got Americans. I mean, you're in America. The Americans are over here. I mean, are you going to get knocked off your... Is it very competitive, or have you like established yourself and you think you can keep your elbows up? I mean, all that, he's got to go home now, isn't he? He's going to put his phone on. He's going to beat you. You have more viewers than you. How many people are you competing against across the world?
Do you know what? I think YouTube... The community of YouTube is that there's no rivalry, there's no competition, because the shift in media and YouTube is you can watch these videos whenever you want. So you can sit at 11:30 at night when you're going to bed and watch a video, or you can see them when they get uploaded. So there's no real competition, and the community in the car space on YouTube is actually really strong. So I know the guys out in the US and we film together. I know all of the guys in the UK, we film together. And it's just a real fun vibe and atmosphere. So
they're all friendly. I can't stand that fat Git Clarkson who's got all the, all the TV works. We have to compete on television. You're all friendly with each other.
Yeah, I was recently on a road trip with 4, 5, maybe 6 other guys, and we were all creating videos. Although the one difficulty now is because we're all creating videos around the same thing, we've got to kind of find our own angles and work on how to differentiate our content so that everyone enjoys each channel.
But then where do you go next? I mean, now you've had this success and you're enjoying supercars. I mean, do you see yourself, being commissioned to create a TV commercial for Lamborghini with, 10 cameras and 20 crew? Do you have that sort of ambition, or do you quite like just doing what you're doing?
I don't think I'm good looking enough to be in a Lamborghini commercial.
And film it, be the director of it, creator of a TV with a £1 million budget. Do you sort of...
I dreamt, I think when I was about 12 or 13, I always dreamt that I would turn up to school when I was old enough to drive in a Lamborghini. And I kind of missed the boat by about 6 years, but the fact that I am living my dream.
Have you driven back to show the headmaster? Is he still at your school? Have you
I haven't, no. I don't know why I haven't done that, actually. It'd be a good video. But, yeah.
The Paul returns to school with his Lamborghini. Well, I'm sure the kids would enjoy it. So you don't think of branching out into other filming areas particularly?
To be honest, as long as it involves cars, supercars or general cars, I'd be up for doing pretty much anything, whether that be television or... I've actually been on radio a couple of times, which was an interesting experience because I realised that no one cares because they're not looking at it, they're hearing. So I had to be a little bit better with my words. But no, I'm definitely up for television or anything that comes my way that involves cars, that means that I get to enjoy and continue to enjoy what I'm doing. And I'll be up for it.
I've read somewhere that you help celebrities buy cars. I mean, don't they know where car showrooms are, celebrities? Do you help celebrities, is true?
Yeah, I've done a couple of videos with people that are well known on television or in normal, traditional celebrity levels. And because they're so busy in what they do, so I've got a friend that's in the group Diversity, a dancer, and he's just come off tour and he's continuously on the road in a tour bus. He only ever gets to watch these videos on YouTube to see what new cars are available, but he wants to buy them. So he calls me up and he's like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And because I spend all of my time around these cars, I kind of have a better perception of it other than just watching a YouTube video. So I recently did a video with Joel Dommett, who is a comedian. And he has no idea about cars, but he's so busy that he hasn't got the time to do any research. So we shoot some fun videos and hopefully we can get him into something a little bit faster than what he's currently got.
Cool. But what about if someone tries to join your... Do you think you've almost got a closed shop? The big guys are up there. And, I mean, how long has it taken the most recent sort of competitor to come up? Could you create a market in 2 years, 3 years? How long do you think it would now take someone starting out?
That's a difficult question to answer because it seems that like some of the people that are coming up now grow so much faster than I grew. So it took me 6 years to get 100,000 subscribers, and then it took me another 3 months after that to get 200,000 subscribers. So it is a massive snowball effect. Once you start picking up momentum, you can really grow quickly. And some of the newer guys that a lot of you guys are probably familiar with, Mr. JWW, Archie Hamilton, those guys have grown super quick, and it's nice to see them. We're always welcoming new people in that just love doing it.
It's not young Archie Hamilton, Hamilton's son that used to try to be a racing driver, the son of Duncan Hamilton.
It is.
Oh, Archie's doing it now.
Yeah. He's recently bought a Corvette, and I just keep saying, have fun in those car parks because they're left-hand drive cars, and he's got to reach across to try and get the ticket.
Well, Archie's dad's got a showroom full of about every dream show car. So he's got. I mean, that's the difference. I mean, some of these guys come up. They're actually rich kids that have started off by filming Daddy's Ferrari and Uncle's Lamborghini. I mean, you had to really struggle without any obvious supercars. So that's a bit of advantage, I suppose, if you're a moneyed YouTuber.
Yeah, I mean, I was buying child tickets on the London Underground up until I was about 18 years old. I got stopped a couple of times, but it cost £2 rather than 8. So that's what I used to do. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's also been a hard graft to get to where I am, but the graft doesn't stop.
It is a shame you used to have to wear second-hand clothes. I do appreciate that as well. Never mind. Yeah. It's trendy, apparently.
Yeah.
Have you got any questions for Paul? Yes, there's a YouTuber down there.
Do you have any tips for an aspiring YouTuber like me?
Does he have any tips for an aspiring? See, competition there, front row.
I think the best tip that I will always give to anyone that's wanting to...
Is this your camera?
Yeah.
Well, this is what you do. All you do is you pick up your camera, right? You go up like that, and you do a bit of years and yas, then you go London Motor Show, you zoom it in and out, you just look at the back of my head, then you pan round the audience, you see, and then you shake the camera a bit, and then you go like that.
Shake the camera, it's a
and
good
that's
one.
it. And then all you do now is you load that up, and you'll have 100,000 followers, and you'll be pushing him off the top, I tell you, easy.
The best tip is definitely consistency. So find something that you enjoy doing, not necessarily what you think will be successful on YouTube, because there are a lot of successful people on YouTube, but find a niche of someone that hasn't done something, and be consistent at it, because the way the algorithms work on the internet without boring people is the more consistent you are, the better you're going to be building a platform, and the more people are going to start seeing your videos, and that's the best way to get exposure on YouTube. So consistency and find a niche that no one's done before.
Who else? Yes.
Tom Exton. He has F12 at the moment.
Tom Exton.
He has F12 at the moment. What would be your best and worst car that he's owned?
Oh, okay, so
what's this question? Can you repeat the question?
a friend of mine is a lad called Tom Exton, and he seems to buy and sell supercars quicker than I buy clothes. His best car, I'd probably say his F12 is his best car. It is just a stunning V12 with a perfect exhaust system that makes that car sing. And it does all of the good things. It does the GT drives, but it also is pretty nimble around the hairpins.